February 3rd, 2013. The Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans is absolutely electric. This is Super Bowl XLVII. On one side, the Baltimore Ravens, led by veteran linebacker Ray Lewis in his final game. On the other, the San Francisco 49ers, quarterbacked by the dynamic Colin Kaepernick. Stakes couldn't be higher. The first half is a whirlwind. The Ravens are dominating. Joe Flacco is on fire, throwing touchdown passes left and right. At halftime, they're up 21-6. The crowd is buzzing, the energy is insane, and then it's halftime. Beyoncé takes the stage. It's an iconic performance, full of energy, reuniting Destiny's Child, and just absolutely bringing the house down. It's one for the ages. The second half kicks off, and the Ravens immediately extend their lead. Jacoby Jones returns the opening kickoff for a record-breaking 100-yard touchdown. The score is now 28-6. It feels like the game is over. The 49ers look defeated, and the Ravens are soaring. The stadium is a sea of purple and black, celebrating what seems like an inevitable victory. But then, just a minute and 38 seconds into the third quarter, something completely unexpected happens. The lights go out. One moment, you have the brightest stage in all of sports, and the next, near total darkness. A massive power outage strikes the Superdome. About half the lights in the stadium just die. The scoreboards go black. The announcers are cut off mid-sentence. For a few confusing seconds, nobody knows what's going on. Players are standing on the field, looking around, as confused as the 71,000 fans in the stands. Is this part of the show? Is it a prank? The initial shock quickly turns into a strange, surreal calm. The game has come to a dead stop. For 34 agonizing minutes, the Super Bowl is in limbo. So what on earth caused this unprecedented blackout at the world's biggest sporting event? The official investigation later pointed to a piece of equipment called an electrical relay device. This device was installed specifically to prevent a power failure. It was designed to monitor the electrical load coming into the Superdome from the local power company, Entergy New Orleans. If it sensed any abnormalities or potential issues with the primary power feed, it was supposed to automatically switch to a backup power source, ensuring a seamless flow of electricity. The irony is staggering. The very piece of equipment designed to prevent a blackout was the one that caused it. Here's the breakdown. Engineers had noticed that the power load for the Super Bowl was significantly higher than for a regular season game. All the extra lights, the massive halftime show setup, the global media broadcast equipment, it was all drawing a huge amount of power. The relay device detected what it interpreted as an irregularity in the main power line. It saw this unusual load and, following its programming, tripped. It essentially said, "Whoa, something's wrong here," and shut down the main feed to protect the stadium's electrical system from a potential surge. The problem was, there was no actual surge. The system was just working harder than usual. It was a false alarm triggered by the sheer scale of the event. Once the main feed was cut, the stadium's backup generators were supposed to kick in instantly. But they didn't, at least not for the main lighting grids. The system just wasn't designed for this specific type of partial failure. Storing power wasn't as simple as flipping a switch. Engineers had to scramble. They had to manually bypass the faulty relay, diagnose the issue in real time with the world watching, and slowly bring the lighting systems back online, bank by bank, to avoid another surge. It was a high-pressure, 34-minute technical nightmare playing out on a global stage. The official report concluded it was a single point of failure in a system that should have had more redundancy. An outside monitoring device, meant to be a fail-safe, became the single point of failure. Back on the field, the atmosphere is bizarre. The game clock is frozen at 13 minutes and 22 seconds in the third quarter. Players are trying to stay loose. Some are stretching, some are jogging in place. Others are just sitting on the bench, chatting with teammates or even players from the opposing team. Ray Lewis is trying to rally his Ravens, keeping them focused. The 49ers, on the other hand, see this as an unexpected gift. They were getting blown out. This was a chance to regroup, to breathe, to completely reset their strategy. Coach Jim Harbaugh huddles with his staff and players on the field, using the bizarre interruption to draw up new plays and reignite their competitive fire. For the fans in the stadium, It's a mix of confusion, frustration, and a bit of a party atmosphere. People are on their phones, trying to figure out what's happening. The infamous Oreo tweet, "You can still dunk in the dark," goes viral, becoming a legendary moment in real-time marketing. It showed how quickly the conversation shifted from the game to the blackout itself. For the broadcasters, it was chaos. They had to fill 34 minutes of dead air time. The announcers, like Jim Nantz and Phil Simms, suddenly became talk show hosts, speculating on the cause, analyzing the game's momentum, and interviewing sideline reporters and former players to kill time. It was an unprecedented challenge for a live television production of this magnitude. Finally, after 34 long minutes, the lights flicker back to life. A huge cheer erupts from the crowd. The game is back on. But everything has changed. The momentum, which was so decisively with the Ravens, has completely vanished. The 49ers come out of the break looking like a different team. They are energized, focused, and ready to fight. Fight they do. Colin Kaepernick starts leading a furious comeback. He connects with Michael Crabtree for a touchdown. Frank Gore runs for another. Suddenly, the massive 22-point lead the Ravens had built has been cut down. The 49ers score 17 unanswered points in just over 4 minutes of game time. So the score is now 28-23. It's a whole new ballgame. The final minutes of Super Bowl XLVII are some of the most intense in the game's history. The momentum shift is real. The Ravens are on their heels, trying desperately to hold on. The 49ers have the ball, driving down the field with a chance to win. They get all the way to the Ravens' 7-yard line. It's first and goal. The tension is unbearable. But the Ravens' defense, the same defense that had been so dominant before the blackout, digs deep. They make a legendary goal line stand. 3 straight incomplete passes intended for Crabtree. On 4th down, with the game on the line, the pass falls incomplete again. The Ravens' defense holds. They take a strategic safety in the final seconds and manage to run out the clock. The final score: Baltimore Ravens 34, San Francisco 49ers 31. The Ravens are Super Bowl champions. Ray Lewis gets to retire on top. But the conversation after the game isn't just about the victory. It's about the blackout. Did it change the outcome? Many argue that it completely killed the Ravens' momentum and gave the 49ers the break they needed to mount their comeback. Without that 34-minute delay, would the Ravens have won in a blowout? It's one of the great what-ifs in sports history. The blackout didn't just stop the game, it arguably reshaped it, turning a potential blowout into an unforgettable, nail-biting classic. It remains a strange, fascinating, and crucial chapter in the long and storied history of the Super Bowl. Thanks so much for watching. What do you think? Did the blackout help the 49ers? Or did the Ravens earn that win no matter what? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into iconic sports moments. See you in the next video.